Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm back to make a part 2 as I promised of this video. You don't have to watch this in order, by the way, and yeah. Same disclaimers as the other video, which basically means, yeah, I know that it's not just the female characters that are not interesting, and there are majority of the side characters are not very interesting, but it's a minority that are the male characters that are interesting, even the side characters. So I wanted to, make the girls that I think that have a lot of potential to be more interesting. So, but this video is just for fun, and it's not anything too serious. So yeah. Since I have a lot of things to say, I'm just gonna cut to the chase and start with the introduction of Ururaka, or Ochaco Uraraka. I think I'm pronouncing her name right. She is one of the female student, well, the main girl lead, well, not a lead, but like the main girl character in My Hero Academia. She has the ability to make things float using her fingers, and she can make things unfloat by saying release with her fingers. That's why she has finger pads on her fingertips. So anyways, I'm here to revamp her as I did for Momo on the other video that you can watch in my channel. But first, before that, I just want to pick her outfit. So let's start with the outfit. To me, like when I was looking for her outfit, I was having a bit of trouble. I was just like, all her styling was pretty okay. I don't see anything wrong, but like I wanted to add like a little something more bubbly to her, so I looked it up on Google, Pinterest, and I was like, nah, this is not working. And then it just dawned on me. She's giving cute girl vibe. I love her personality, by the way. Overalls. She looks like she would wear overalls. I don't know what about her that made me think like that, but to me, she just looked like she would wear overalls, so I dressed her in some overalls that I would color in later. I also decided to change her bangs because, I don't know, it just, something bothered me about them. Like, even throughout the series, it doesn't even grow out. Like, so I'm thinking she has long bangs, but when she's not in her hero costume, she swoops them to the side. I did try a little awkwardly, but anyways, you get the idea. It just swoops to the side, the bangs. And I dressed her in this cute overall, kind of like a romper jumpsuit type of vibe with very loose pants at the end. So to get started on some things I would switch about her personality, I wouldn't really change much. Actually, I really love her personality in the show. She seems real for it. So most of the things I'm going to be revamping about her is mostly her role in My Hero Academia, or her powers. In her introduction as a character, I forgot to mention that her goal, unlike most heroes in the school, she didn't get here by a recommendation. She wanted to be a hero because her parents are broke, apparently, and she wants to make enough money to send them, like, to make them have a good life. And I think that was very unique of her standpoint, like her motivation. I found that really unique that they would switch it up like that. She's not just your typical hero doing it for the good of her heart. Well, yes, she is doing it for the good of her heart, but mostly for personal reasons, selfish reasons, which is her parents. And I just found that very good. So that's why I said I wouldn't change much about her personality. But they decided to give her this huge crush on the main protagonist of the story, which I was all for when I was younger, and I was just like in shipping madness. I was all for until they made it like her whole personality is what I'm trying to say. Like, they completely scrapped whatever development they were trying to do in the beginning of the series. If you watch it, you know this. And yeah, so I was all for the crush until they made it like a little distracting. Like, oh, I can't have these feelings, it's distracting from my hero work. Oh, it's distracting me from focusing. Oh, my whole world revolves around this crush, which is like, I was a bit disappointed about that. I thought we were finally having some, like, a normal girl without having this whole obsessions. I don't even think that's a word, but obsessed thing. But anyways, so the first thing I would change is that she still has a crush, because she still has a crush on the main protagonist, but instead of her trying to deny the feelings, I think she should just don't care. Like, you know, it's just another part of her life. Like, it's like, oh, I have a crush on that person, no big deal. She's still gonna thrive to do her hero work. She's still gonna develop like any other character without the crush being her whole personality, is what I would change about her. And another thing that would make her more interesting is that she does things that the other students don't feel like they need to do. So like, there are low-key heroes looking for help, looking for interns that have their hero license or like starting to do hero work, but is still permitted to do hero work, to get hired to do small jobs. Since she needs the money, she takes in these small jobs, and like every other Saturday, they're like, hey Ochaco, can we hang out? It's like, nope, I gotta quickly say go do this hero work. And yeah, and just make it really funny how she like never has any free time other than training or doing hero work. It's like, where is Ochaco? She's always somewhere else doing some crazy stuff. And then they're like, thank you for helping us, Ochaco, by saving something or like doing a simple hero work just for the money. And she would send it to her parents, and the students would not really understand why she does this. And I think that would make her definitely more interesting in my head. So that's the thing I wanted to add to her. So on to the drawing of her costume. I decided to go a very random route, but like still a very okay route. It's hard to explain. I was very conflicted about her costume, because I didn't find it bad. Like I actually liked her costume, but something that stuck to me was that she didn't think it would be skin tight. And I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna roll with it after I saw that clip. So I was thinking, I was like, I don't know what to draw her in. So that's when I decided, I looked up, what is it called? I looked on her powers. She makes things float. And I had this great idea about, those heavy blankets, like sleeper blankets or whatever. So I took one of those, and I was like, what if it's a sweater that she could make float? So every time she uses her power on her costume, it's like she's moonwalking, which would make it easier for her to, run to where she needs to save someone from getting buried in a building, or use her powers quicker to get to places faster. So yeah, so that's why I decided to dress her in this what's it called? In this sweater made out of heavy blanket material, or like a weighted blanket. That's what it's called, a weighted blanket material. So I didn't really know what design I should put on it, so I just decided to put the colors, but I'm not coloring yet. So yeah, so I decided to do that for her costume, and I decided to let her keep every other accessory she had on it, except that I shrunk her boots, and I shrunk her gloves, and I also kind of shrunk the thing she wears around her neck. I heard that it's for pressure, to make her less nauseous, to make her less dizzy, and that's why I also chose the weighted blankets, to keep her leveled. That's why I also chose that she has long bangs that she sleeks back when she's in her casual clothing, but like in her hero outfit she lets her bang, because I heard that it helps, that if you have motion sickness, something to focus on, something that always stays still in front of you. And like I was thinking her bangs in front of her, she could always see it, something to focus, so she doesn't get nauseous as easily. Another thing I decided to update about her is her powers, to make her more interesting. This idea has been in my head so long, and I thought she would actually develop some kind of quirk manifestation, but I guess it never happened in the show. But my hopes weren't as high as I claimed it to be. But for her power to be leveled up, instead of just making things float, I was thinking of she could also have double gravity, so she can make things heavier than it actually is. So if she says release, she could release it 2 times fold and make it like heavier than it actually is. But I scrapped that idea. Instead, I still want her to have the double gravity and the floating abilities. She just makes everybody's like 5 feet away from her gravity really heavy. It could affect her if she wants it to affect her, but I think if she doesn't want it to affect her, then it doesn't have to affect her. So when she's like, but well, what was I gonna say? Anyway, when she's like, when she uses the power and everybody else's gravity doubles, I want the side effects to be like she gets really lightheaded, like she can't even stand, like she passes out, like she just feels really heavy. She's like, oh my gosh, after she uses that power. That's why she doesn't use it a lot. So yeah, to make her more interesting, I think she should have both sides of gravity, making things lighter and making things heavier, or making the gravity affect differently. So making things lighter and making things seems heavier is what I meant to say. So yeah, that's what I would do to make her more interesting. And here I'm going to the coloring phase, and the coloring, I really just color picked, and I didn't know what color to make the mask, but I kind of rendered it at the end, at the very end of the sketch. I rendered the sketch, and I added highlights. I added highlights and shadows, and I also colored her lips because, you know, anime, they don't really add lips to their characters. And yeah, hopefully you guys like the costume. The costume, I had mixed feelings about it. I still like the way it looked and everything, and especially with the new abilities I gave her. So yeah, like the moonwalking thing she could do for her costume, since it's heavier, like it's a weighted blanket. I think that's really clever for her costume, but most people might not like the appearance of it because it is not like, you know, a skin tight costume like she used to wear, which most people simped about. But yeah, I hope you guys like it. So yeah, we're coming to a conclusion of this video, sadly. Well, we still have one more female character to make, but yes, thank you for watching, and happy International Women's Day. What was it? International Women's Month. But whatever, we just celebrate our women. And yeah, I think anime, especially anime, they should appreciate their female characters more and try to humanize them more, instead of just making them for, you know, their own male gaze audience enjoyment, and just actually trying to make them human more. Okay, I switched from an open mic to my headset, so the audio might sound a little different. But here I'm showing my shading phase, which is a simple multiply layer with purple, very dark purple, I used to shade in. And I noticed her eyes looked a little crazy, so I thought the shadow would help. And I finally added pupils to her, so I'm just like, okay, that might help, because she looked a little open-eyed, a little crazy. But yeah, the shading process is pretty simple. I'm still not a master at shading. I still have trouble blocking in colors sometimes. Knowing where to shade it's hard for me, because I don't really pay attention to that stuff, to where, you know, the shadows are and the shadows aren't. So the reference photo of her really helped me put all the shading together, like realize where they put the shadow. You know, it was professional. So I'm just gonna let you enjoy the shading process for a little longer, and then we'll see the final sketch at the end. So here it is in all its glory, and hopefully you like. And no, I don't have a name for this channel yet, so it's just RiderBot 3000 for now. So if anybody have a good name for this channel, I would really like to hear the concept of the name of the channel. For now, it's just random videos.